All right, back to the breaking news we shared with you off the top of this newscast. Today, former Tennessee House Speaker Glen Casada and his former Chief of Staff, Cade Cothren, were expected to learn their fate on more than a dozen fraud charges. But as we told you, only one of them received the punishment today, with a federal judge sentencing Cothren to 30 months or 2.5 years behind bars. Chris Davis is live now from the federal courthouse. A lot of delays, now at least one decision. Chris, what's the latest?
You know, Rory, you could tell that Judge Eli Richardson was taking his time on this decision. He was very intentional of trying to let all parties say everything they'd pretty much ever want to say on this topic. He also took quite a bit of time, at least 45 minutes by my best guess, explaining what he was going to do on the sentence before actually giving it. Like you said, 2.5 years in prison, a fine of $25,000, and supervised release for 1 year once that prison stint is done. I also just confirmed with his attorneys he will have to report to prison on November 17th. He will voluntarily surrender himself to U.S. Marshals and will then go into his prison stint. You know, a few things that Judge Richardson said that really caught my attention. He said, you know, as a judge, he had to find the balance between giving a sufficient punishment, but also not one that is greater than necessary. He also said things like this isn't the worst type of fraud that he's seen in these type of cases, but he also felt like this case in particular, quote, breeds cynicism in state government. We're certainly seeing that. A lot of frustration with state politicians and national politicians and local politicians. And he says that they really wanted to set a deterrent to others to make sure that there is a sufficient enough penalty in all this so that other individuals don't think, oh, I could just go ahead and do that and maybe just deal with the consequences. So just moments before you took us, we were able to try to ask Mr. Cothren a few questions as he came out. He did not answer any questions from reporters as he walked alongside his longtime girlfriend. The only thing that really his attorneys said as we were walking out is, quote, just remember he's a human being. Of course, this is a life-changing day for him, a life-changing day for many that pay close attention to Tennessee politics. As you mentioned, Rory, Glen Casada, his boss, the former Speaker of the House here in Tennessee, he will have his day in court and learn his fate on next week, next Tuesday. Significantly, he could face a longer sentence than Cade Cothren. Why? Because he's a public official. Live at the federal courthouse, Chris Davis, News Channel 5.